Okay, so this is going to be a little review of how everything went with my baby, and how I felt about the whole thing and how everything went. So, after school, I got picked up, and I took my baby, and I'm like, it can't be that bad, right? Like, I feel like everyone was exaggerating a lot, and I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And so then I got home, he didn't cry for like an hour, then he cried at 4:08. I was FaceTiming my girlfriend, and he caught me off guard, and I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And then I thought, well, there's only 4 things that I could possibly do right now, which are feed him, or I could change his diaper, I could rock him, or I could burp him. But since I hadn't fed him yet, I didn't think I would need to burp him, and my first instinct was to feed him. So I took his bottle out, and I put it up to his mouth, and he stopped crying. Of course, this was all after I scanned my thing in, and I was sitting there for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna stop. But then he took like 12 minutes to stop crying, and so it was fine. But then after, he started crying again, and I totally forgot to scan my ID that time. So I was doing all this stuff with him, and then my girlfriend's like, wait, did you even scan him? And I'm like, no, I did not. And so then I did, and everything was fine. So everything was good for the rest of the day. And then I had to go to church, which I forgot to ask for downtime in, was just totally fine because it was a decent experience. And so everyone was giving me weird looks, so I went like outside on a little couch, and I was there with my baby, had the whole thing like set up. And the pastor walked by, and he gave me the weirdest look. Then he's like, oh, how's it going? And he walked past me, and then he walked back, and he like came up to look at the baby. He's like, oh, is this for the project? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And he's like, oh, cool. And so then he walked away, and I was like, oh my god, that was embarrassing. And so then I got home. He cried like one more time before I went to bed, and then I fell asleep. This was all after I changed his clothes for the nighttime. And so I fell asleep and totally forgot that I had the baby. And I set him down before I went to bed, and he woke up. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. But in the end, he cried 5 times maybe. And it was okay. The first night was definitely not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Although I didn't think it was going to be that bad to begin with. But then the next day came, I had soccer, so the baby turned on at 5. Didn't get home till like 5:30, but it's fine, because my brother said the baby didn't cry once while I was gone. So, the baby cried later on, maybe like an hour after I got home. It was all normal, like I fed him and changed his diapers and stuff. It wasn't that bad, because I was awake. But then I went to bed, and it was literally a nightmare. Like, the baby cried, and I just, it was like this thing where I didn't want to hear it anymore. Like, I was fine doing all this stuff, but the crying was just so exhausting to listen to. And it was hard. At some point, I remember it doing everything, and then it wouldn't stop crying, and then I tried doing everything again, it wouldn't stop crying, and then it started screaming, and I was like, oh my god, please stop. And my brother's room is next door. I didn't know how he didn't wake up once, because I was so annoyed with it. So then I changed its diaper, and that worked for some reason, even though it hadn't worked 2 times before. But yeah, for me, the night was definitely the worst part. The day was definitely okay. Got past it perfectly. Didn't have any problems with it besides the part at church. But yeah, that was pretty much it.